You check your phone 43 times before noon, not because anything's wrong, not because you're waiting for news, just because your thumb knows the motion better than your brain knows the reason. Somewhere between the third scroll and the 15th, the work you actually plan to do quietly dies on the to-do list. You don't even notice the moment it happens. That's the part that should scare you. You want God-level success, but your brain is wired like a slot machine that only pays out in dopamine hits from the next scroll, the next video, the next fantasy. That's the contradiction. Most people think the missing piece is better routines or more willpower. Nah, the real leak is quieter, more private, and way more embarrassing to admit. It's how much mental real estate you're giving away to sex. Not even real sex most of the time, just the endless simulation of it. Picture this. It's 10:47 p.m. You told yourself tonight's the night you're finally going to knock out that project, hit the gym early, or at least not wake up tomorrow feeling like you lost another day. But instead, your hand finds your phone. One video leads to another. An hour disappears. Then two, you close the app, feel that familiar mix of emptiness and shame, and promise yourself tomorrow will be different. Sound familiar? I've been there. Hell, I lived there for years. And I bet right now you're nodding. Because this isn't some dramatic story. This is just Tuesday night for a lot of us. Here's what nobody says out loud. That constant, low-level sexual noise in your head isn't harmless entertainment. It's quietly sabotaging every other area of your life. You wonder why focus feels impossible, why motivation evaporates by 2 p.m., why you can binge self-improvement content for hours, but can't stick to a single habit for a week. The hidden belief holding you back is simple. This doesn't really affect my goals. It's just how I'm wired. Everyone does it. But that's the lie. Your brain isn't broken. It's been hijacked. Every time you feed that cycle, you're training your nervous system to chase the fastest, easiest hit instead of the deep, delayed satisfaction that comes from real progress. You scroll for 30 minutes and feel a temporary buzz, then crash harder. You watch something that gets you going, and suddenly the important work feels boring by comparison. And the worst part, you're not even fully present for any of it. You're half here, half somewhere else, always waiting for the next little thrill. Think about that for a second. How many times have you caught yourself opening the same apps without even deciding to? How many mornings have you woken up already behind because last night you traded sleep and clarity for another round of nothing? I used to tell myself I was just unwinding, that it helped me relax. Truth is, I was avoiding the discomfort of sitting with my own thoughts and actually doing the work that matters. The projects I kept delaying, the body I kept saying I'd build, the money I kept saying I'd make, all of it quietly rotting while I stayed distracted. But here's where things get interesting. The guys and women out there crushing it at the highest levels, the ones who seem to have unnatural focus, drive, and confidence, they're not necessarily smarter or more talented. A lot of them have simply done the uncomfortable thing most people won't. They've taken their sexual energy off autopilot and started directing it somewhere else. Not by becoming monks, not by pretending the urge doesn't exist, but by refusing to let it run the show anymore. And right now, you're probably thinking, easier said than done. Or maybe, I don't even watch that much. I remember one guy I knew, let's call him Alex. Solid job, decent life on paper. Every night after work, he'd tell himself, just 20 minutes to unwind, and open that app. 3 hours later, he'd be lying there, eyes burning, mind foggy, promising himself tomorrow he'd wake up at 5 a.m. and crush the gym. Sound like anyone you know? Alex wasn't a bad guy. He wasn't lazy. He was just stuck in the same loop most of us know too well. The dopamine from those quick hits made real effort feel like punishment. His brain had been trained to expect instant reward, so anything that took real patience, building a business, getting in shape, even having a meaningful conversation, started to feel unbearable. And here's the strange part. The more he fed that cycle, the worse his confidence got. Not just in the bedroom, but everywhere. He'd walk into a room full of people and feel invisible. He'd start projects and quit when they got hard. Why? Because deep down, part of him knew he couldn't even control his own attention for more than a few minutes. That leaks into everything. Now, here's a truth that hits different. Your sexual energy isn't just about sex. It's raw life force. The same drive that makes you want to connect, create, compete, and build. When you leak it constantly through endless stimulation, you're pouring gasoline on a fire that never actually warms you up. It just burns you out. I used to wake up with this low-grade fog. Couldn't focus on my work. My workouts felt flat. Even my relationships suffered because I was half present, always carrying that quiet shame in the background. I'd look at people who were killing it. Clear eyes, sharp mind, unstoppable drive, and think they had some secret gene I didn't. Turns out the secret wasn't genes, it was boundaries. Let me tell you about Sarah. She was smart, ambitious, but constantly comparing herself online. She'd doom scroll fitness models, dating advice, then fall into the other kind of content that left her feeling empty and restless. Her business ideas stayed as notes in her phone. She gained weight she couldn't lose because the emotional roller coaster killed her consistency. One day, she hit a wall after another wasted weekend. She looked in the mirror and realized she didn't even recognize her own reflection anymore. Not physically, but the version version of herself she used to be. That was her turning point. The unexpected truth? Desexualizing your brain doesn't kill your drive. It actually multiplies it. When you stop leaking energy in all directions, that same force starts fueling your ambitions like rocket fuel. You stop needing external motivation because the internal pressure builds in a good way. If you're still watching, you're exactly the kind of person this channel was built for. Subscribe, because we're turning ideas into actions and helping people build better lives. Think about the times you felt that post-nut clarity or post-scroll clarity. For a brief moment, everything feels sharper. You see what you need to do, but then the fog rolls back in and you lose it. Imagine if that clarity wasn't temporary. Imagine if it became your normal state. That's what happens when you start reclaiming your attention. But most people never get there because they believe the lie that a little bit doesn't hurt. The weight of all those lost hours, lost opportunities, lost versions of yourself, it adds up quietly, expensively. You don't see the invoice until years have slipped by. And right now, you might be feeling that frustration rising. Good, feel it, because that discomfort is the signal you've been waiting for. But here's the real question that's going to set up everything else. What would your life look like if your brain wasn't constantly pulled toward the next cheap hit? That's the breakthrough. Desexualizing your brain isn't about killing desire or becoming some emotionless robot. It's about stopping the leaks so that raw creative energy starts flowing toward the things that actually build your future, your work, your body, your relationships, your bank account. When that happens, focus stops feeling like a battle. Discipline stops feeling forced. You just move. I wish someone had laid this out for me years ago. The hidden belief we all carry is that our private habits are separate from our public results. They're not. Your brain doesn't have different compartments. What you do in the dark trains, how you operate in the light, the real cause is this. Constant sexual stimulation flattens your dopamine system. Everything important starts feeling gray and effortful, while the cheap stuff lights up like fireworks. That's why you can watch 3 hours of motivational content, but can't sit down for 30 minutes of real work. Your brain is calibrated for instant gratification. Here's the counterintuitive truth most people miss. You don't need more willpower. You need fewer temptations pulling in the opposite direction. When you clean up the input, the output changes almost automatically. Let me give you a simple framework you can start tonight. 3 parts. Not complicated, but it works if you actually do it. First, audit the leaks. For the next 7 days, track every time you reach for sexual content, porn, thirst traps, endless scrolling that turns spicy. No judgment, just notice. Most people are shocked at how often it happens on autopilot. Write it down. Seeing the pattern in black and white kills the denial. Second, create friction. Make the easy thing harder. Delete the apps that trigger you. Use website blockers during your prime hours. Put your phone in another room when you work or sleep. Replace the habit with something that uses that same energy. Cold shower, push-ups, a quick walk, journaling the next step on your biggest goal. The urge doesn't disappear, but you give it a better place to go. Third, redirect deliberately. Channel that energy into creation or movement. The guys and women who hit God-level success treat their sexual drive like rocket fuel, not a leaking faucet. They lift heavy, they build businesses, they create art, they go after what they want in real life instead of watching simulations. One former client of mine replaced his nightly scroll with an evening workout block. 6 months later, he was down 20 pounds, up significantly in income, and actually excited to wake up. It won't feel natural at first. You'll sit there with restless energy and want a cave. That's normal. That's the rewiring happening. Stay in it. The first 2 weeks are the hardest. Then something shifts. Your mind gets quieter. Ideas flow easier. You look people in the eye again. That foggy shame lifts and real confidence starts showing up, the kind that comes from keeping promises to yourself. Think about the version of you that's no longer fragmented. No more half present during conversations because part of your brain is elsewhere. No more waking up already behind. Instead, you finish what you start. You walk into rooms with quiet power. You build the body, the money, the life, because your attention finally stays where you point it. This is the part most people skip over. They hear the advice, feel inspired for a day, then slide back into old patterns. Don't be most people. The cost of staying the same is higher than the discomfort of changing. You've already proven you want more by watching this far. Now prove it to yourself. Start the audit tonight. Pick one leak and block it. Redirect once, then do it again tomorrow. Your future self is watching, and for the first time in a long time, that version might actually be proud. If this video changed how you think, hit like, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs this message.